welcome to day 3, week 8 of our 9 lives. We are talking about love and partnerships. This is separate from the relationship category that we talked about last week. That category is about, or that life aspiration area is about your personal and your professional relationships. This particular category, or life aspiration area, for those of you who may just be joining, is about your love and partnership. Your partner could be your spouse, your significant other, your, however you choose to refer to that person who is closest to you in an intimate or, more special way. So yesterday we talked about the other person, and the categories for the other person do apply to both parties, and it's important to take a look at how we are treating our partner and our significant other, in addition to how they're treating us. So if you were able to watch yesterday's video, hopefully you are applying that to yourself as well, but yesterday's focus was primarily on the other person and how we treat them. Today, it's all about you, baby. This is a part of love and partnership and life in general that some people have probably thought of many times over. Maybe you've never thought of it, but this day is all about you and taking a look at who you are and whether or not you have a solid sense of self. I was a young girl in the 80s, not to date myself, but to put it out there, and I remember growing up in a day and time when the saying was, if you aren't, like, gosh, I can't remember it now. It's been so long since I said it to myself. You can't love another until you learn to love yourself. And it was always like, it always made sense to me, but I never really understood what that meant. So it was weird to be like, yeah, I get it, but nobody ever told me what love was or how to love myself. It was just this saying that was out there. And so over the years, as I would listen to it and really want to know more about, well, what does it even mean to love myself, I learned a lot about it. And so, and it's true. There is a way to actually love ourselves. And then once we love ourselves, everything in life becomes that much easier. So today, before the video gets too long, because this is probably an entire segment in and of itself, is that I want to talk about 4 things and take a look at what those might be for you. So, number 1. Clarity. Are you clear on what you want to be experiencing in your love relationship? And are you clear on who you are? That's a big one. Number 2, trusting yourself and listening to that internal knowing about what you want to be experiencing in your relationship and the things that you need to feel good about yourself and to feel love and to be loved and able to give love. Number 3 is personal responsibility, and this is probably the biggest one. Personal responsibility is whether or not your happiness is dependent on something else or someone else, or whether you do have a love and appreciation for yourself. Are you taking ownership of your own happiness? Are you trying to find it in other places? This was probably the biggest one of all the categories, honestly, because taking responsibility, the saying of like looking for someone else to complete you. If we're going through life looking for someone to complete us, then that would indicate that there's something about us that is missing. And all of us is whole in and of ourselves. And once we are able to love ourselves fully, without the influence of somebody else, everything else in life becomes so much easier. It's not about the job. It's not about the pets or the people. It's not about the materialistic things. Loving ourself is loving ourself despite all of that. Sure, those are things that maybe make it easier or make us feel a little bit better about ourselves. And like I said, this is a whole segment in and of itself. But taking personal responsibility is a category to take a look at. And then, of course, the self-love and the view that you hold without the other person's influence, which I sort of just said in that particular one. But being able to love ourselves is how we feel about ourselves independently of someone else. And to fully love ourselves mean we love everything about ourselves. I don't love everything about myself. I mean, let's be honest. If there's a few things I would like to have different, could be the thighs, could be the booty, could be, aging, any of those things. But at the end of the day, I still love myself, and that wasn't something that came naturally. I had to work at it. I had to come up with and determine for myself what that meant. And so this is where, if you're, as far as the partnership goes and relationships go, if you're struggling with deep-seated inner things, whether it's traumatic experiences or just processing a lot of other things as far as other people go, it may be in your best interest to consult with a licensed professional. I do have resources available. Coaching can help as well, depending on the nature of the relationship. But if you were looking to dive deeper into loving yourself, I would be happy to help you with that. I actually put together a segment for guiding women through these very things. And the segment is about the 3 pillars for knowing, loving, and nourishing who you are. And really quickly, those pillars are the 7 signs that you know who you are, what love is and how to apply it, and then the self-care essentials. So knowing, loving, and nourishing who you are. 7 signs you know who you are, what love is and how to apply it, and then the self-care essentials, which I partner with somebody else on, so that's an exciting piece of it. So anyway, when it comes to this particular area of your life, this life aspiration area, love and partnership, it is more about you than it is about the other person, but it is important to take the other person into consideration. And before you do get into a relationship, fully knowing and loving who you are. If you're already in a relationship, taking a look at how you can create that sense of self-love and a solid knowing of who you are, so that you can move through the world in a so much easier way. Anyway, if you'd like more information about the segment on knowing and loving and nourishing who you are, please feel free to reach out. I would be happy to share that information with you. If you just want to sit with all the things that we've been talking about, it has been 8 weeks. 3 to 4 days for 8 weeks. There's a lot of information out there. And we still have 1 more week to go. So, I hope you will join me next week for our 9th Life Aspiration Area. It is the final segment that we're going to be doing, and I'm super excited to be sharing that with you. So thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for joining, and we will see you all in the next video.